Welcome back, focused learners. Today, we're bringing a brilliant grammatical hero into the spotlight. Have you ever read or heard a sentence that just left you hanging? You know, a statement that felt mathematically complete, but logically totally empty? Well, classical Arabic grammar has a built-in superhero designed specifically to rescue sentences from that exact kind of ambiguity. Today's explainer is all about the principles of Tanyeez. Imagine I walk up to you, look you dead in the eye, and say in this deep, slow, confused baritone, I have a liter of... Now snapping back to a sharp, punchy reality, a liter of what? Water? Milk? Gasoline? That sentence is grammatically stuck. We desperately need to know what exactly is being measured. We need a clarifier.
Okay, let's dive into this roadmap. First, we'll ask, what is Tanyeez? Then we'll look at clarifying the noun, followed by clarifying the sentence. We'll tackle the tricky number rules, and finally, spotting the imposters. Let's go. Section 1. What exactly is Tanyeez?
I want you to frame yourself as a language detective today. We're walking up to a linguistic mystery, examining the evidence on the page, and trying to figure out what's missing. So, what is our main grammatical tool? Well, the classical grammarians define Tanyeez as an indefinite noun, a common noun, that swoops in to explain something ambiguous. It could be an ambiguity in a single noun itself, or in a relationship expressed by a whole sentence. In English, we usually call it the specification or the clarifying accusative. It's almost always an indefinite noun, and it firmly sits in the accusative case, meaning it typically ends with that distinct and sound, like kitaban or ilman.
As language detectives, our absolute best magnifying glass is the question, in what respect? Whenever you encounter a sentence that feels vague, just stop and ask, in what respect? Or what exactly is being referred to? The word that answers that specific question? That's your Tanyeez. This is going to be our recurring auditory motif today. Keep this question in your back pocket.
Moving on to Section 2, clarifying the noun. Now, what's really interesting about this concept is that this category, classically known as Tanyeez al-Dots or Tanyeez al-Mufrad, fixes ambiguities found in a single, isolated word. And it doesn't just appear randomly. Nope, it has specific triggers. You will almost always find it following these 4 types of measurements. Numbers, linear measures, weights, and volumes are capacities. Literally, whenever you see one of these 4, your detective alarm bells should be ringing.
Let's act that confusion out again. Imagine I tell you, I bought 20. 20 what? Cars? Apples? The noun 20 is entirely ambiguous on its own. But when I add kitaban, books, the thought is instantly complete. I bought 20 books. Or take our earlier mystery. I have a liter of. A liter of what? Man, water. The words kitaban and man are our clarifying accusatives. They are the Tanyeez.
We see this beautifully preserved in classical texts. The Quran commands, give full measure and weight. So when merchants in classical times used a measure, like a soft eights, the phrase sa'an tamran relies completely on this grammar. The sa is the measure, and tamran, the dates, is the authoritative Tanyeez that ensures the trade is specific, fair, and perfectly clear.
All right, Section 3, clarifying the sentence.
Sometimes it's the whole sentence that is the crime scene. We're shifting now from individual words to our second major category, Tanyeez al-Nisba. Let's pull out that magnifying glass again. The text says Zaid increased. Okay, grammatically that's a full sentence, a verb and a subject. But logically, we have to ask our anchor question, in what respect did Zaid increase? Did he increase in height, in wealth, in age? The missing piece of the puzzle is ilman, in knowledge. Ilman is the accusative noun saving this entire sentence from being hopelessly vague. And this brilliantly illustrates how Tanyeez is used to create some of the absolute most striking imagery in Arabic literature. In this famous Quranic verse, the prophet Zechariah says, "The head has flared." Again, flared in what respect? With fire? With pain? The clarifier is shayban, with gray hair. It paints this incredibly vivid picture of aging spreading like a flame, and grammatically, shayban is the Tanyeez, making that profound metaphor clear.
We see the exact same structural elegance in the Hadith. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "The believer is most complete." Let's pause right there. Most complete in what respect? Imanan, in faith.
The word imanan steps in with absolute gravitas to clarify the condition of completeness. Without it, the sentence's profound meaning would just be lost.
Next up, Section 4, the tricky number rules. Now, language detectives, tighten your focus for a second. It's a known fact that numbers in Arabic are notoriously tricky. They don't just take a simple accusative noun every single time. Let's slower pacing down here and walk through this logic. Arabic counting is divided into 3 distinct grammatical brackets. If you're counting from 3 to 10, the Tanyeez must be plural and genitive, like thalathatu kutubin, 3 books. But if you jump to the 11 to 99 range, the rule completely flips. The Tanyeez becomes singular and accusative, ishruna kitaban, 20 books. Finally, for 100 and above, it shifts again to singular and genitive, miatu rajulan, 100 men. Let's apply that logic immediately to test our skills. In this verse, a man is complaining that his brother has 99 ewes. Look at the number, 99. Which bracket does that fall into? Exactly, the 11 to 99 bracket. Therefore, the Tanyeez, the word for ewes, najatan, must be singular and accusative. And that is exactly what we see in the text. It's a perfect mathematical lock and key.
Let's move to our final section and see how this all builds together. Section 5, Spotting the Imposters. Just like any good detective story, there are imposters out there, words that look like our hero, but are actually doing a completely different job. We need to know how to spot them. The most common identity theft in Arabic grammar happens between tamyiz and another concept called hal. Both of them are usually indefinite. Both of them are usually in the accusative case. They literally look like twins, but they serve entirely different detective functions. Tamyiz answers what exactly to remove ambiguity. Hal, on the other hand, answers how to describe the temporary state or condition of someone.
Let's contrast the two directly. Zaid increased in knowledge. We ask, in what respect did he increase? Knowledge. That's Tanyeez. Now look at the second sentence. Zaid came writing. If we ask, in what respect did Zaid come, that doesn't make any sense. Instead, we ask, how did Zaid come? The answer is writing. That describes his state. That is hal, not Tanyeez.
There's one more tricky scenario. Sometimes classical Arabic allows for different grammatical constructions to express the exact same meaning. You can say, I have a liter of water using our hero, the accusative tamyiz. Or you can use an idafa, a possessive construction, resulting in a genitive ending like a liter of water. The meaning is identical, but the grammatical analysis, the underlying machinery is totally different.
So the absolutely crucial point here is that you now have a highly practical 3-step checklist to take with you into your studies. Step 1, find the ambiguity in the noun or the sentence. Step 2, ask the golden question, in what respect? And step 3, look for that indefinite accusative noun that swoops in to save the day and perfectly clarifies the meaning.
And that wraps up our case file on Tanyeez for this explainer. You are now equipped with a seriously powerful new linguistic tool to decode classical texts. So I'll leave you with this. The next time you're reading and a sentence feels strangely vague, will you be able to spot the missing piece of evidence? Keep your eyes sharp, keep asking in what respect, and happy learning.